So good evening and welcome to tonight's continuing call. So today is April the 6th. I think it's still April the 6th. And we are going to have some education on an essential oil blend that I think is phenomenal. It's a blend that's really kind of special to me. And I'll explain to that why that's so much special. Because of what I was able to do for someone a long time ago. And this blend, if you've got any kind of women's issue, this blend is for you. So my name is Diana Hinkle, and I appreciate you being here. And for those of you that are going to watch the replay, thank you for doing that. If you have any questions or any comments, please make sure that you leave them for me so that I know and I can address those for you, especially if you have concerns. We're definitely not here to treat, cure, diagnose, anything like that, because I am here just to give you some information and let you decide what to do with that information. So let's talk about Clary Calm. If you have, for a woman, for us that cycle every single month, now depending on, we have different stages of our life, but Clary Calm is a blend, and this is the bottle. It comes in a 10 ml roller bottle. So the lid, it has a roller, you see that? And that's a metal roller, it's not a plastic. When this particular blend came out, since I'm postmenopausal, I was like, so why would I need this? Well, for a lot of different reasons. And if you're still not postmenopausal, but still going through all those stages, there are times that we get those hot flashes that we don't know what to do with, especially at nighttime. Or we have those abdominal issues or heavy bleeding from our menstrual cycle. And so we get that cramping, and it is not fun. It hurts. And some people, it's very debilitating. And then other women, it's not a big deal. So you can be somewhere on either side of that scale, but there's still on occasion where we might need this. But this particular blend is good for some other things. And we're going to go through that because we need to understand that just because we have a blend or an oil that's specific for something doesn't mean that you could not use it for something else. And I always go back to what Dr. Hill has said. I heard him say in an event a long time ago. And Dr. Hill, David Hill, is one of the owners of doTERRA and was our chief medical advisor, but he kind of gave that in to another doctor. And it's not a matter of the right oil. It's just putting an essential oil on you, because you never know what that oil is going to do for you until you try. So there's going to be times when someone's going to say, yeah, do so-and-so or try so-and-so, and you might not have that essential oil, but do you have a blend that has that oil, that specific oil in the blend? Use it, because you're still going to get whatever it is. Let's say if you wanted helichrysum, well, what blend does helichrysum come in? Like deep blue, for instance. Use it. So it's very interesting how the essential oils can help us, and they help with that chemistry. They help with at the cellular level, not just masking something and putting something on you. So this is a blend, and there are 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, I was right. There are 11 essential oils in this blend. One of those is clary sage. Clary sage is one of those that helps with muscle tension, uplifting your mood, and balancing your hormones. That's what clary sage does. Okay, so now clary sage is not something that if you're pregnant, you may want to refrain from this. But if you have some muscle issues, why not reach for Clary Calm? If you don't have something like Deep Blue or anything else. We also have Lavender, which is very calming. So if we really look, I'm going to go through every single one of these. And if you really think about what everyone is for, it's like, oh my gosh, well, no wonder this works for other things. We already know what lavender does for us, right? Well, maybe not. So lavender is very calming, right? So that helps in supporting, also helps support our hormone levels. More hormone support. And then we have bergamot or bergamot, however way you want to say it. That's another one that's an emotionally uplifting. And it also helps with muscle tension. And bergamot's one of my all-time favorites to use around horses for many different reasons. We'll get into that another time. But bergamot is good for calming, and it's good for helping muscles relax. So with a horse, typically I'm going to use this particular oil, bergamot or bergamot, when I have a horse that's colicky. In other words, very gassy, or they're all bound up, kind of like us when we can't go to the bathroom. So maybe this would help you. Never know. Then you've got Roman chamomile. What's Roman chamomile? Well, we all are familiar with chamomile tea, which is sleepy time, calming for the senses, right? It's a relaxing aroma, and it's helpful for muscle tension as well. Then you've got cedarwood. Cedarwood is also supports hormone levels. Then you've got lang lang. I love the smell of lang lang. Lang lang is also good for helping reduce blood pressure. And you would just put it behind the ears. But that's also good for helping reduce stress. So what does stress do to us? Brings our blood pressure up usually, typically. And it's phytoestrogenics, which means that there are some essential oils that you cannot get out into the sun. So think about that with bergamot. And then also think about that with lang lang. But geranium, it's another balances the endocrine system. And it's also very calming. And then we have fennel. How many of you like black licorice? That is fennel. I'm not really keen on black licorice, so I don't really like the smell of fennel by itself. But there are a lot of people that do. And there's actually a lot of animals that like that smell as well, because there's a lot of treats that are made with fennel in them. But fennel is not only something that helps support our estrogen production and lactation. Yes, that's right, for lactation and estrogen support, okay, that production of estrogen. It's also good for the digestive system as well. So there's two different things you're getting there. And at once, in fact, since we're on the lactation and estrogen, I heard from someone at one point that said that while she had a young baby, brand new baby, her husband would bake cookies for her with fennel in it so that she could eat cookies with fennel and help her milk supply. I was like, that's genius. Totally genius, right? I was like, oh, delivery method, got it. So it's the things you don't really think about. It's like, oh yeah, so like, how do you want to hide things? Like, especially kids that don't want to eat well. And so we have our not tara greens, but we have our greens that we can put into things. So hide it, hide the greens, hide the fiber, and just put it in there, right? So that was a little tidbit. So then we have carrot seed. So carrot seed is also one of those that helps support and have a healthy endocrine activity. and palmarosa, which is not something that we can get as a single oil. So most all these others we can get as a single oil, except for the last two. So the palmarosa is very soothing to the body, and it helps support thyroid levels. Because what part of the body helps regulate hormones? The thyroid, right? So when the thyroid, so if our hormones are off balance, this is what we should be looking at. If we can't regulate what's going on here, is this been compromised? Have you seen a doctor? And that's something you should know to find out, because a lot of times what will happen is you go to the doctor and I just don't feel right. Well, your hormones all balanced, so let's just give you some estrogen or something like that. And it's like, no. A lot of times this thing here is giving us it's giving us those pre-indications that we got a problem, but we don't see it, and the doctors won't see it until there's actually a problem. They don't diagnose things until there is a problem, right? So think about that when you kind of have that off balance and you're just not quite sure why. Now, the very last one is Vitex, which is a like a berry. It's considered to be a identical to the phytoestrogens, and it's an antispasmodic. Okay, so it looks like phytoestrogen, but it's not estrogen. Okay, just like we have products that are an estrogenic, not estrogen. So it's helping the body regulate and those hormones of your estrogen and testosterone and everything else that's going on, because we have a lot of different hormones. We have over 100 hormones, but we only talk about 3 or 4. That's it, because those are the number ones. But there are a whole mirror of others that we don't ever discuss. And so we want to actually balance the whole entire body, not just one part of our system. So with Clary Calm, that is something that you can easily use. So you can use it on the back of your neck. And most of us are going to have the problem on our abdomen. So put it there around the belly button. You can put it across the forehead. Make sure that you don't get it in your eyes. And if you ever do get an essential oil in your eyes, don't use water. Use something else like milk, coconut oil, olive oil, any kind of oil that you have. Keep your eyes closed. Put it on a cotton ball or whatever and wipe your eye with it. But keep your eyes closed for a while. 10, 15 minutes, I promise, anything and everything will go away. But water is a driver. And so when you get it in your eyes, water makes it penetrate deeper and faster. So don't use water. Okay. I know that for us in the medical community, that's the best. That's the worst thing. Get stuff in your eye. You're supposed to wash your eyes. They have eye wash stations. Like in this case, don't do that. Okay. You can try, go ahead. Or you can take a washcloth, a cold washcloth, and you can kind of wipe the eye, but keep your eyes closed. That's the best thing. You're going to tear up, but I promise you won't go blind. But make sure that you are keeping everything up to par. And my thing is, I'm going to have to change here because I'm falling off. Okay. All right. There we go. I had to change. Okay. So with all of this, if all of these essential oils are very calming, they're very balancing to our hormones. And so what about somebody who has so much stress going on in their life and they just don't know what to do? Here's something that can save their day. I have a friend who I still to this day, we still bounce around with each other. And she, back in the day, when I first got involved with doTERRA and decided to do this as a business, we had met at a like a garage or junk in the trunk kind of thing at our local county. fairgrounds. And anyway, she was doing one thing, I was doing another thing, but she got so depressed and she had a really bad marriage. And she got very suicidal. This was her saving grace. She really liked it prior to all that while she was going through all these issues. And then this was what really helped her get over those bad neurons going on in the brain. These are all calming. So why not help those that have so much stress going on in their life? And I think for me, that's why this kind of holds a more dear spot for me, because of how it helped me be able to help someone else that was in dire need. It's like, just because it's made for women and their female issues doesn't mean it won't be good for something else. And then what else do they have going on? Do they have some digestive issues? This has got the fennel in there, and it's also got cedarwood, which can also be helpful, and the bergamot. So use it. If you don't have anything else, use it. No different than using Digest Zen for pink eye. And the first time I ever heard that, it was like, what? Wait a minute, can you repeat that? Digest Zen is for a digestive blend that we have that doTERRA carries. And you just put it under the eye. I'll take my glasses off. So you just put it under the eye and through here, and it will help with pink eye. So if you look at the list of essential oils that are in that, one of them is fennel, and then there's peppermint. So when you're wanting something, just use what you have. If that's all you got, use it. See what happens. And you know that actually works for animals too, not just people. Because I suggested that one time with someone with a rabbit. They had pink eye. I was like, well, use digestion. It's good for people in that way. So why not an animal? Sure enough, it took care of it. So I'm not quite sure which one of the oils in there does that, but there you go. There's another little tip. So when we are looking for something to balance into our hormones, Clary Sage, like again, is one of those that we can really reach for on many different levels to help us in supporting that mood, supporting the endocrine system, supporting the abdominal problems. And I've also seen this essential oil work like poof. Within 5 minutes, I was at an event, somebody came up and with her friend, her girlfriend, and we were all talking. All of a sudden she started having a hot flash. I mean, it was obvious that she was, and their friends like, yep, she's starting to have a hot flash and she will just be dripping sweat. And we're like, really? That's sad. So, and awful, right? Especially if it just comes on at any time. So we're like, okay, so use the Clary Calm, put it across your forehead, behind your neck, behind the ear. And no lie, within 5 minutes, her friend is like, normally by now she's dripping sweat. She's not. And she's still talking. We haven't left. And normally they'd leave for whatever they're doing. And she never did go into a full hot flash. It stopped it. And we're like, sweet, because we don't know this person from nothing. And without her friend telling us this, we would never know. And I could probably tell you countless stories, but when you have something that will help in those the cramping that you get, and it's so simple to put on you, and really it doesn't smell bad. It smells really nice. It almost smells good enough to be a perfume. In fact, a lot of people will use it as a perfume. And then we have another one called Whisper, that one really does smell awesome. And it has a little bit of the vanilla in there. So it kind of adds to that aroma. And it's a women's blend. And a lot of women use that one for a perfume. And all you gotta do is put a little bit behind your neck. But you can put this on your pulse points. You can also put it here. You can put it on the bottom of your feet. You can put it on the wrists. 1 to 2 drops is all you need. And this is also something that can help with, if you have a low sex drive, it's something that can help in that direction too. And all you have to do is 1 to 2 drops on the wrist. That's all you need to do. So I really think that, when we have these oils that will help us on a cellular level, the sky is the limit, and there's no telling what's going to work for you and what's going to work for me. But always, just whatever you have, put it on you. And so there's another little tidbit that I wanted to give you. It's over here somewhere. Okay. All right. So again, that low libido, that's something for it. So we know that we're really good for cramping. We're good for hormone balance. And we're good for the hot flashes. And another thing too, if you know someone that tends to, it's that time of their month and they get really grouchy, you could wear Clary Calm on you and get next to them and be a diffuser for them. It will make a difference for how they feel. Of course, it's going to help you, but it's going to help them just as much as it would you. Because maybe they don't know what this is all about. Maybe they don't know how grumpy they can be when we cycle, because a lot of women are. They just it's like that cat and dog thing. It's like, no, we're just like, and so how can we help each other? This is one way to do that. Best way to do that is like, hey, have you ever tried this? Let me give you a sample and try this the next time that you cycle, so that you're not quite so off balance and you don't want to kill everybody along the way, right? I know some women like that, but then there's other women that are completely opposite and all they want to do is be in bed. So the hormones are so bad that now they're more in a depressed state and not in that good state. So this is also something that will help in that way as too. Don't forget those women, because you might be their saving grace, right? And that's what we're here for. We are here to help with, anybody we know. What can we do to help them? We are here to serve people, not just to sell a product or get them to buy the product or whatever that is we're here to serve them. So if we're serving them and don't have the intention of, well, I hope you'll buy it, it's just serve them, whether they do or don't, and help them understand what we have, and that it's something so easy that it's just a swipe on the belly or swipe on the back of the neck, and it makes your day that much better. So anybody have any questions while we're on here? No? Fine. Okay. Anybody have a story? No? Okay. All right. Well, I have nothing else to talk about on this particular oil. So again, remember, calming, abdomen, be the diffuser, help those that need help. If it's you, you know where to get it. And if you are watching this video or someone has sent it to you, make sure that you are talking with that person, or send me a comment or get a hold of me and I'll be happy to help you out. But anybody interested in this, the best way to do it is get your own wholesale customer account so that you can get 25% off of the retail. So again, if someone has sent you this video, reach out to them. If not, you can reach out to me as well, and I'd be happy to help you with that. So thank you for joining us tonight, and I appreciate all of you. Thanks.